Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy. Today we're looking at the updated EV6. I'll include a link to the Jerry Center Kia in Salt Lake's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this EV6. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. The EV6 has an 84 kilowatt hour battery pack, 295 miles of electric driving range, all-wheel drive because it's dual electric motor setup, 320 horsepower, 446 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now the flat gray color on the EV6 I think looks really sharp. We've got this new headlight design up front which looks even more futuristic than the previous design. We also have stuff like parking sensors, of course got the Kia logo there, camera below the logo. And overall it does look a little bit different, but I'd say that this is more of a refresh. Tire and wheel setup is 235 by 55 by 19. You've got the silver there on the outside with the metallic gray on the center, and the wheels are mostly closed off for aerodynamic efficiency. Giant kind of unpainted fender flares, and that bodywork continues along the side. We also have blacked out pillars and mirror caps. The EV6 still has the same sleek silhouette as before. When it comes to the key fob, it's got this interesting kind of texturing on it, but we have our lock and unlock function. You also have the remote start function there on the other side, and yeah, kind of a cool setup. Now the rear is manual, so you just press that button and that will unlatch the liftgate. Now the slope design does limit your height here when it comes to space, but overall it's pretty big. And this is like Inception, so underneath the load floor and then underneath that floor. Double storage. They also give you a handle to close that. So you still have a light bar like before. It looks slightly different, but again, more of a refresh there. And so overall with the exterior, it looks pretty similar to before, but a little bit different. We still have the cool pop-out door handles. Inside you do get some soft touch trim here. You can see the nice trim that goes to the door handle. And then rear passengers also get heated seats and a little bit of storage at the bottom. The seats themselves are mixed with this kind of like synthetic leather, and then you got cloth in the center. Legroom back here is pretty good. Got a little storage pocket, USB there on the side of the seat. Well, the roof's pretty sloped. I have a decent amount of headroom. Now this leads us up front. We've got more nice soft touch trim down below as well. All of your window controls here. The mirrors do power fold in. They also have blind spot monitoring. And then you've got that same trim with the front seat. The driver is power adjustable. The passenger's manual. That's just for your charging port. You can see your parking brake, stability control, and then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. Regular push button start with this. And I've got the offset Kia logo, but yeah, very square-jawed steering wheel. And you know, the trim all around I think is actually pretty nice. Sorry about the lighting with this shot, but we do have our volume controls, voice command controls on the one side. And then we've got stuff like our adaptive cruise control and lane centering on the other side, and then a little drive mode select below that. Paddles in the back for regen, and then just traditional stocks behind that. Full digital gauge cluster that displays all the information you need to see, like your range and your state of charge, and then you can also change what is displayed there in the center as well. And for those of you wondering, with the drive modes, as you switch through the different drive modes, it changes how the car performs. It doesn't really change the cluster. This does come with a nice 360 camera system. You also have this little exterior shot with the camera system and good resolution. As for the infotainment system, it is quick to respond. Everything is pretty darn user-friendly overall. We have the multifunction controls down below. So right now it is set to do the climate controls. You press the little nav button and then it'll set to do the navigation stuff, but also the radio controls. So it is multifunction. Nice trim here on the dash. And then you've got kind of a cool design with the vent down below. Underneath the center console area, there's lots of space and a bunch of USB ports. It is pretty interesting down there. Controls for the heated seats and heated steering wheel. And again, you've got your button to turn the car on and off. Little dial shifter here to put it into gear, and then there's a camera button behind it, auto hold, and then parking sensors. Got some cup holders here, wireless phone charging pad, and then a pretty normal center console with some soft touch on top. So this one is an EV6 light all-wheel drive long range with 19-inch tires. Anyways, $53,980 is the total MSRP. Let's see how it performs. Oh, EV6. Let's see how this refreshed version performs. And I'll be honest, I didn't even know they were doing a refresh on this. I'm not huge into EVs. And that's just because it's a very niche market here in the US. My job is ultimately to review cars, and well, people are mostly right now looking for just traditional ICE and then hybrids. EVs, there are people looking for it, and that's why I still review them. Just a lot fewer people. So this will probably be my only review. I mean, unless you guys want to see other packages, I don't know, maybe like GT or whatever. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to review other packages on the new refreshed EV6. But what I will say is very comfortable. I think that Hyundai Kia, right, same company. I think that they have one of the best EV setups on the market to compete against Tesla. Ford with the Mustang Mach-E is actually pretty darn good too. But the thing that I like about the Hyundai siblings, I guess is what we'll call it, is the range is good. I think the looks are solid for an EV. The interior feels nice. It's a nice mix between being pretty straightforward and user-friendly, but then also having some elements like the little climate control switch thing here that makes it feel a little bit more futuristic, a little bit more of an occasion. So I think that's cool. Interesting. So if I turn off my climate controls, I can get as much as 316 miles of range. But I guess if I drive like crazy and have the climate all the way up, I can get as low as 194. Interesting. Interesting. So one thing about electric cars is range is everything. It's like, who cares how much horsepower it has? Range. And also battery size, right? Because if, you know, I think that GM proved that with like the Hummer EV, where it's got decent range, but then has such a big battery pack that it's not practical. It's like you gotta have the battery small enough that it's practical to charge, and you gotta have enough range where it's practical to drive. Having all the weight down low with EVs is nice because it provides a little bit more of a comfortable ride. The car doesn't wallow around as much. Which, you know, again, most modern crossovers with independent suspension and unibody aren't going to wallow around that much anyways. But yeah, this is just even better. Even better. And also the silent acceleration. I think that's another nice element to it. Let's pop it into the sport mode here. I do like that turn signal camera. It's kind of a nice feature to have. So you have like a double thing on blind spot. Wow! Yeah, that punches. Good thing I didn't eat lunch today. I never eat lunch. But good thing I don't eat lunch. Might have lost it there. That was a hard punch. So one thing that's cool about EVs is, yeah, the instant power, instant torque means that you got a crazy acceleration, but kind of tapers off. And it is jarring. The thing to note about an EV is like the amount of times that you're actually going to do that. I mean, maybe getting on the highway, but most of the time you're just not going to do that. You want it to be smooth. And I think that's why some people like myself don't really care about EV acceleration, because as long as an ICE engine is smooth enough and gets up and moves, yeah, I'm fine with it. But this you can be really smooth because you can really modulate exactly how much power you're putting down versus having to rev up an engine, right? So there are benefits here. Overall, it's a nice little refresh. I already thought that the Hyundai siblings were really nice EVs. Again, really good competitors to Tesla. I still haven't reviewed the new Model Y, but I have reviewed the new Model 3, and it's actually quite impressive. So I do think Tesla still has an edge when it comes to range. It's a little bit better from the factory. And then this design, I like having more physical buttons, but I've noticed the EV people kind of like more minimalist. So Tesla kind of still has an edge there if you want minimalist, like most EV people want. And you know, they've opened up their charging network, so that's no longer a benefit to Tesla. But let me know if you like this more of the new Model Y more. I can't really tell you guys because I haven't reviewed the Model Y, but I can tell you if the Model Y is as good as the new Model 3, it's kind of a tough thing to beat because the build quality of the new Teslas is really good. But this is nice. Kia's done a fantastic job with how this drives and the overall build and everything. I mean, it feels like a well put together car.